What is success? I would say success is when you reach the end of your life and look back, you're able to say, yes, that was a life well lived. I'm Tara Halliday and my company is called Complete Success Limited. So success is an idea that I work with a lot. And the UK LinkedIn team kindly invited me to join in their conversation about success, #ThisIsSuccess. They rightly say that success seems to be just not measurable, it's so ephemeral, everybody has a different meaning or a different idea of what success means, and that's what they're looking to explore. Now I would say yes, success is like how long's a piece of string. There really is no fixed answer. But I would also say that what we're not looking for is success. We're looking for the feeling of being successful, that satisfaction, that happiness, that's a job well done, gosh, I've achieved something. And the two are very different. And it turns out that feeling successful is something that we can predict, we can measure, and we can explore. I use a scorecard with 11 different factors that can clearly indicate how successful someone is going to be feeling about the entirety of their lives. Those 11 things are achieving, responsibility, feeling calm, joyful, grateful, passionate, inspired, giving, supported, connected, and my favourite, fearless. And if you score yourself from 1 to 10 in all of those and you come out high, then the chances are very, very good that you're feeling fantastic and you would be able to look back at your life and say, wow, what a ride, this was great. Now, I'm going to look into achievement, because achievement is something that many people measure success by. So achievement might be getting the grades, getting the promotion, earning a certificate, qualification, winning a race, that kind of thing. Anything where a goal is met. Now, not all achievement is the same, because you can achieve something and feel great about it, feel successful about it, and you can achieve something and not feel good about it. So the question then is, well, how do we do things that we then feel good about? And there are 5 factors that any project needs in order to feel really good and successful about accomplishing. Those are growth, personal meaning, internal measurement, challenge, and risk. And if it has those 5 factors, you're on to a winner. So growth then. If you imagine all of your life experiences and everything you've done, all your capability and capacity in a sphere, in a bubble around you, and this is the edge of your experience and your capabilities. In order to grow, it'll mean that there'll be something outside of that bubble, and what you want to do is bring that outside in, and the way you do it is expand the bubble, because you gain a new learning, a new skill, a new experience, and as you expand that, then that sense of growth is very valuable. In fact, human beings are wired for growth. As a species, we are not content to sit under trees eating fruit. We're just not. What happens when our survival needs are met is that the thinking part of our brain, our neocortex, starts looking around and starts saying, what would happen if, I wonder what, if I take this idea and apply it to this situation, if I make this bigger or smaller or change it. We have this drive to improve. And so if your project has an element of growth in it, you will grow from it. Then when you finish it, when you accomplish it, it'll feel good. It'll feel like it's a success. The second is it has to have personal meaning, regardless of what anyone else feels about that work. For example, I have a PhD in engineering, and I really don't value it that highly. I don't think it means anything special about me or my identity or my achievements. However, when I started the program, I was determined to finish. And even though I didn't really enjoy the program, the PhD is in engineering, I'm more of a people and psychology person, so it wasn't a good match. So it was 7 years that I was pretty miserable. because it didn't have much meaning for me. But the reason I stuck at it was because it had meaning for my mother. She thought it meant that I was successful and smart. And what I was looking for was my mother's approval. Or rather, what I feared was my mother's disapproval. So I stuck at the project. And when I got my certificate, I didn't feel, wow, this is amazing, I've done something great here. I didn't feel successful in it. And in fact, all I felt was a sense of relief. Phew, I didn't fail. So if we want to feel good about it, it really needs to be something that means something to us personally. We need to value it ourselves. The third thing is internal measurement. We like to compare ourselves, we really do, to everyone else around us. But when we're looking at what we're doing and what we're achieving specifically, if we compare ourselves to the outside, it's not gonna work. It's going to be too variable. For example, I can understand why my mother valued a PhD so much, because in her world, in her environment, it was a very rare thing. In my family, I was the first person since my grandfather to even go to university, let alone get a PhD. So she saw it as something very special. Now, I'd walk into the university staff room with all the professors and academics, and I certainly wasn't smart or outstanding in any way in that environment. And in fact, I was probably quite near the bottom of the pack as far as smart went. So if we measure our success by the environment, then we always have a false reading, and that we're always at the mercy of our environment. And it means that we can't really feel the success for what it truly is. You can look at boards and executive teams, and a PhD or an MBA is generally very often an entry-level requirement. Those things don't make us special. If we measure it internally, how far have I come? What has this done for me? In terms of growing me, then we will always feel good about when we've achieved something and not comparing to other people. The fourth thing is challenge. We need to work. It's like we want to stretch our muscles. We need to feel good that we've actually done something to achieve this accomplishment. It needs to have some effort involved. If it's too easy, we won't value it. When I was 4 years old, I learned to tie my shoelaces. At that time, it was incredible, amazing. I felt so brilliant. I was a big girl, I was competent, I'd learned something very complex for me. I don't feel that way about tying my shoelaces anymore. It's well within my sphere of capabilities. And so if I do it, that's not going to be satisfying. That's not going to... Tying my shoelaces does not make me feel successful anymore. So an element of challenge. And then the final one is an element of risk. We have to be able to have the possibility of failure. There has to be a doubt that, I'm not sure if this is going to work. And if we get really comfortable with failure, as in it's just a learning experience, it doesn't mean anything about us, then that element of risk actually becomes fun. A project becomes more like a game. We're playing and experimenting. Oh, I don't know if this will work, let's try that. And that gives a lot of satisfaction. When there is that element of risk and we achieve it, then we feel very satisfied. So those are the 5 things: growth, personal meaning, internal measurement, challenge, and risk. And if a project that you're working on has all of those, then when you achieve it, when you accomplish it at the end, you will feel successful.